Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing this evening? Everyone doing? I'm glad to see you guys here at the show. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Karen. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Corinne. Hi, Deborah. Hi, other Debbie. And Nana. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Matt. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Susan. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Wanda. How you guys all doing tonight? Hopefully you guys are having a great night. Lots going on out there that I missed yesterday, so I want to jump on tonight. Hi, James. Hi, Corinne. Federal investigations, though, investigation of Hunter Biden reaches a critical juncture, which looks like they're going to end up pressing charges. As the investigator weighs the possibility of charges and prosecution, and confronts the Justice Department's guidelines, generally avoiding bringing up political sensitivity cases close to an election. But this has nothing to do with the Democratic or the midterm elections. I mean, his parties are connected to the presidential election, which is in the middle of the year. So no decision has been made yet on whether charges will be brought against Joe Biden's son. But the probe is also going into other things. In recent months, along with discussions amongst the Delaware-based prosecutor, investigators are running a probe into the official at the Justice Department headquarters themselves to see how far it goes down in deep dark circles. Meanwhile, you got Biden testing positive for COVID. Harris, of course, and Joe Biden both tested negative after they were tested this week. But they say very mild symptoms. But one thing I do want to bring up is they took him off his heart medication and other things and put him on more stronger antibiotics. So I'm not sure how mild his symptoms are at this point. Of course, he's hoping to recover well. The White House medical team will be with him. So hope for the best, even though I might not agree with him being president, but sad. It is sad. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Rita. Yeah, it took him off his heart meds, which he's had several heart problems in the past. Taking him off his heart meds is a big step. I mean, he's fully vaccinated, fully boosted. So we're hoping he will have very mild symptoms, but I don't think that's the case at this point. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. So that's not all that's happening with Joe Biden right now. Joe Biden, of course, has his gaffe saying he has cancer thanks to the oil industry. Of course, the White House quickly points to that was skin cancer years ago. It's nothing to do with anything from oil industry. But President Joe Biden, of course, Wednesday said he had cancer. forcing the White House press office to quickly clarify what it was referring to. I don't know. He's losing it big time. And it's not just the cancer statement; it's statements coming even from Jill Biden. I mean, Harris is running against him 2024. We already know that. Pravaxa does not have any side effects that would affect any heart medications, Allison. So that would be incorrect, even though that's what they stated. But Joe Biden basically said it's over, which was speaking directly to the people. When your wife suggests you have failed at your job, it's probably time to retire. See, opening up as a Walmart greeter, maybe. That'd be probably a good position for Biden. But when Jill Biden appeared as the first lady during a speech to Democratic fundraisers, ultra liberal Nantucket, Massachusetts, speaking of the president, she said he just had so many things thrown his way. Who would have even thought about what happened with the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade? Well, maybe because everybody saw that coming. But still, don't believe it. Gun violence, of course, in the country is absolutely appalling. Of course, Biden didn't see the war in Ukraine coming, gun violence, or Roe versus Wade. All things that were plenty of information leaked ahead of time. I mean, Russian President Vladimir Putin signals his intentions for invading Ukraine far in advance. The decision on Roe versus Wade was leaked before the formal announcement. Gun violence in major cities preceded the Biden administration. So how does he not know? Does he not know? It's ridiculous. The world is mocking America openly. And is it really a wonder why? World leaders are openly mocking us in response to photos of Biden's deputy assistant of nuclear energy and health secretary at French ambassador's home last week went viral. I don't know if you guys seen this video, this image. I'm going to put it up here in a second. It's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. I could say that. Literally, I can't pull the image down right now. But the two of them both dressed in their attire. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even know how to put this in a decent way that doesn't sound mean or rude or negative to anybody, but I guess I just have to get the picture to show you. So give me 1 second. It's sad though. This is what America has come to. I mean, I seen this image, and you wonder why the world's laughing. When you see it, I'm sure you'll have the same response as me. If not, if I offended you, I guess you got to grow up a little bit. That's right. I said, if I offended you, you got to grow up a little bit, not me. Yeah, ridiculous. What is happening out there? Take a look at this real quick. Because that's what they dress like to go to a formal event in a foreign country. Do we not have any kind of modesty or reaction left? Kamala Harris, though, he even goes further, comparing the Supreme Court's ruling on abortion to slavery, claiming ownership over human bodies. A direct quote, our country has a history of claiming ownership over human bodies. It's ridiculous. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by the people that are representing us, the people that are supposed to be there for us. Harris now planning to run 2024. I mean, this is ridiculous. Every time I turn around, Harris making comments like this that basically are comparing everything we do to slavery now. Everything. We're overturning Roe versus Wade, slavery, to putting people in jail for committing crimes, slavery. Yeah, our military can't even get near their quota. They're having to cut platoon sizes down drastically, numbered. This is a serious problem because people that truly want to serve the country no longer want to play this game. Ridiculous. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi plans on visiting Taiwan, and China warns us that of forceful measures if Nancy Pelosi visits there. She's going anyways. Of course, Biden today said the U.S. military will not back her up. They will. Hate to say it. It's just building on more and more trouble. China says it will take resolute and forceful measures if the U.S. House of Representatives Nancy Pelosi visits Taiwan. That would be the highest level delegate from the United States to the self-governing island in 25 years. Nancy Pelosi's second in line in succession to the U.S. president. This is ridiculous. Why are we stepping in the middle of problems that we don't need to be in anymore? It's absolutely ridiculous. At the same time, you know how much China spent on U.S. land last year? And they've already spent this much this year. They're going to actually exceed this. Last year, China spent $1.6 billion on U.S. real estate. 6.1 billion with a B. That's great. The Chinese investors are buying up U.S. real estate at alarming rates, spending a record $1.6 billion for homes, mainly in Florida and California last year. Buyers from mainland China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong spend an average of just over $1 million per transaction to purchase existing homes. Nearly a third of those deals, 31%, involved acquisitions of property in California. They're buying up U.S. property. It's not a question. It's happening. And it's not just China. India, $3.6 billion was spent here. Canada, $5.5 billion. Mexico, $2.9 billion. Brazil, $1.6 billion. All buying up U.S. property. That's not even talking about the farm property they bought up. We're talking actual real estate now. And you know what they're doing? They're renting it out, making interest off of Americans. They're making money on U.S. property off of American public. Meanwhile, yeah. We give their most advanced mobile rocket system to a neo-Nazi nation, a neo-Nazi country. You're right, Billy. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Foreign buyers spent a total of $59 billion to purchase 98,000 or 9,800,000, no, 98,000 existing homes in the U.S. just in the previous 12 months. $59 billion in foreign investment buying up that property. That's an alarming number. There's a reason that number keeps growing. They're buying out America. It's just like when you take a hostile takeover of a stock. Eventually, you own so much of it that you control the controlling interest. It's happening here. As more states are now changing voting laws to ownership of property, gives you the right to vote. More of these people are going to be voting, and they're not even citizens of our country. They don't even live here. They just own a piece of property. It's ridiculous. It's not just cattle farmers. It's all farmers. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but blackouts happening, and of course, the national farmers president issued a dire warning to the Biden administration today. We're heading for a food shortage. A dire issued warning was received by them. Consequences if the cost of fuel and fertilizer do not come down, and very soon. We have high fuel costs right now, high fertilizer, and line prices. All of these upfront costs for American farmers. We haven't done anything in place to fix that. We haven't got anything in place either. And the White House is yet to even have a meeting about it. Of course, the president of the Farmers Association thinks that key leaders will refuse to intervene, and Americans could soon see evidence of commodity shortages at their local grocery stores, such as empty shelves becoming increasingly common. Not only that, most of these farmers are now having to hay in fields because they won't come to crop. Which is sad. Soybean doing the same thing, of course, turning it silage, and so is corn. As of course, they cannot bring it to full fruition because of water shortages and lack of fertilizer. It's going to be a hard year, like I've been saying. It's just one thing after another. It's a long-term challenge, though, that farmers are facing. Because production costs continue to skyrocket. Farmers make very small margins of money now. And yet they're expected to feed the world. This winter is going to be hard. I mean, even Ford, with its EV program, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but they even turned into a fully automated assembly line. For Ford to fund its EV efforts, it's going to lay off 8,000 workers. 8,000 workers are going to be laid off in order to fund an EV environmentally. I don't even know you can call it environmentally friendly. Because we already have a rolling blackouts throughout the country. It's not just small ones. I mean, the great regret or the great resignation isn't just for the job switchers that are having problems now. Some of the smartest companies in the world realized they hired too many people. Over the last year, companies have hired at a rapid clip, which gave the job market awesome numbers. But now layoffs are brewing, and companies are letting some of their new workers force go. Just as workers might have a great regret over quitting their companies and regret some of their hiring, this is going to affect the market drastically. Earnings calls are not coming in at nearly what they wanted. Big companies like TikTok, Redfin, JP Morgan wasted no time announcing layoffs and hiring freezes. We're seeing it across the market. Layoffs and hiring freezes are happening across the job market. In Walmart and May's earnings call, Doug McClellan said the company is overstaffed and cut into profits. The company previously hired an influx of new employees in 2021 to cover COVID staff shortages. It's not that, and it's not the only one that did this. I mean, you have big companies, Redfin did it, of course, laying off now 8% of its workforce. There's going to be a huge wave of new unemployment. 4.3 million people got handed resignation letters or handed in the resignation letters in May. Companies waiting in the wings in June added 3,700 people to their payroll. But now they're looking at laying off almost double that number for 37,000, 372,000. Almost doubling the drop, the people they took in. People quit their jobs back in 2021 to make more money at new companies. Now these new companies, of course, are having to cut their workforce, not just new companies, but JP Morgan and a lot of these bigger corporations. And for the firms that want to hold on to their current workers, the economic slowdown might be good news, although not beneficial for employees looking to earn more. But long run, it's going to hurt America. It's hurting us already. And who do we have to thank for that? One thing after another, of course, blackouts as the nation's power grid collapsing off and on. Blackouts. Of course, this whole Green New Deal garbage is pissing me off. We have over 100 companies involved, or 100 countries involved. And the countries that are suffering the most are third world countries. We convinced them to shut down their oil and coal power plants and to go to solar, and then we haven't been helping them now. And they signed a contract, meaning they have to. It's just sad. It is a sad, sad day. Sorry if I'm killing your buzz. Facts are the facts. I mean, this is what's happening in the world right now. We have to wake up, see it now, and make a difference. And do it before it's too late. Nobody likes to hear that, but Biden, instead of trying to, of course, push for more oil here in the U.S., he's trying to call a climate crisis, natural disaster, climate crisis, which would stop ban from new drilling rigs here, new oil. But yet he travels 7,000 miles on Air Force One to Saudi Arabia to beg for oil. I'm thinking Air Force One would leave a much smaller carbon footprint if he traveled to Texas or Oklahoma and begged Americans for oil and provided more money for America. Instead of paying money out of the country, why not pay it in? Gas prices are falsely being deflated right now by pushing oil out of our strategic reserve, which we're going to feel. People may not realize that now, but it's going to be a big effect on us soon. It's one thing after another. Got to pray. At this point, we have to pray. Yeah, gas will be easily $10, $15 a gallon. No, the gas reserve, that's another thing. If you go to Strategic Oil Reserve online, you cannot actually see the limit or the amount anymore. And you used to be able to just go to energy.gov / FICON, Strategic Oil Reserve, and you used to be able to hit the open inventory window. It has not worked since before this oil crisis happened. It got shut down, so you couldn't see it. We had, at the time it got shut down, according to this, as of May 4th, we still had like 467 million barrels. 493 million barrels. Well, who knows if that's even right? New COVID's not that bad. I mean, everybody's is getting affected because even with shots and vaccines and boosters, it doesn't protect your immune system. Look at our president of the United States, the most vaccinated, most well cared for person is sick. Once again. Of course, it's not the oil reserve, the whole exchange, the selling of oil and everything else. There has been no post since 2020 about how much oil is actually left to reserve. It's getting bad. Natural gas prices soaring as power demands are soaring as well. What are we going to do? It's time to wake up, America. We have to take our country back in this election, even if it's to stop them from pushing ridiculous new legislation through. And we are hurting in a way that America's never felt hurt before. People are suffering to feed their families. Interest rates are being rose. People have more money on credit than ever before. At the same time, the money they're putting on credit, the interest rates are going up on it, and they're not paying it off fully every month. They're not. They can't afford to. They cannot afford to. It's sad. So what are we going to do? Just sit here and comply? Listen? Sit down, shut up, like they say. We have to start standing up, making sure our rights are known. Making sure people know we are in charge of our government, not our government in charge of us. But bless you guys. Thank you guys for being here with me. I will be live tomorrow night. Can't even afford a toga? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, if you can afford to donate to the channel, please do. We have to raise a minimum to support the channel every month. plus trying to get money raised for our charity as well. So any donations are appreciated. I mean, I know a lot of people are tight on money, but God bless you guys. I will see you tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Till then, stay safe, stay tuned, and God bless America.